My competition isn't other makers. You guys aren't my competition. No other person that is making this stuff in their house or in a small business is my competition. My competition is Unilever. My competition is L'Oreal. My competition are all those huge conglomerates that are eating up the masses. There's enough room for all. There's enough room at the table for all of us to eat here.
Welcome to the Dirty Heifers Podcast. Soap making, small business, and so much more. Let's get dirty. Welcome back to the Dirty Heifers Podcast, the show where we talk soap, small business, and all the messy, beautiful parts in between. I'm your host, Margaret, and as always, I'm joined by my two partners in crime. First up, the woman who can turn a loaf of soap and a half-baked idea into a full-blown business plan, our southern sudslinger, Jessie. And next, the queen of calm chaos, the one who keeps us grounded while the rest of us spiral, Shauna, our resident voice of reason, with a splash of sarcasm.
So this is...
Uh-oh. We lost him. Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
It says he's recording.
Oh no, I'm still here. I'm so sorry. My dehumidifier in my shop just kicked on, and I totally forgot to turn it off, so it's super loud. And I was like, oh no, I can't hear.
Gotcha.
So this is actually a river in the state of Mississippi. This is the Bogachita.
Bogachita. Oh, okay.
The Bogachita.
All right. And do you have a fun fact about the Bogachita?
I do. Hang on. Let me pull Google back up. Hang on.
She's got a fun
All
fact.
right.
She just doesn't remember it.
So the Bogachita is a phrase derived from Choctaw language. There's a lot of Choctaw Indians down here, meaning big creek or large stream, and it is pronounced Bogachita. It refers to a scenic, clean water river, a state park, and a national wildlife refuge located in Mississippi and Louisiana. And one other fun fact about the Bogachita River is when I was a baby, my mom and daddy used to love to go tubing down the Bogachita River. So, Margaret, that means you sit on an inner tube and you float down the river.
They have tubing up here in New York.
Okay, I didn't know. But, so anyhow, when they would float down the river and I was an itty-bitty baby, I used to float on my dad's chest in nothing but a diaper, and they bring me a bottle. So I grew up floating down the Bogachita River.
All right, then.
There you go.
Okay, so we've got Joe here with us, and he is the founder and soap maker behind Kingston Oak Soap Company, right? Kingston Oak.
That's the Midwest.
Kingston Oak Soap Company. A brand known for its rugged, clean, no-nonsense bath products, rooted in quality and consistency. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I was kind of telling you guys before we started here, as far as my soap making journey goes, for me, it sort of started, I every year, a group of really good friends and we go on a guy's fishing trip, and we pick a different place every year, usually within a decent radius, so it's not too far of a piece, if you will. And one year, a real good friend of mine gives me a bar of a big name brand guy's soap that you can probably guess. And I was like, wow, I don't care what I'm washing with. Like, I was using whatever was in the shower, whatever my wife was buying, whatever like lavender, lovely scented thing. And I washed with that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is different. This is really cool. I haven't used bar soap since I was a kid. But what I noticed about it were a couple of things. One was that it disintegrated in the shower very, very quickly. And the other thing was, this is sort of expensive, and I'm tired of spending money on this because I need a new bar much quicker than I thought I should have needed one. And I was like, you know what? I'm the kind of person that I'm going to figure this out. And so I started looking into it, reading everything that I could about making soap. I knew that I had relatives that had made soap years ago. And I became sort of vastly interested in that, my own sort of journey of wanting to do better with what I put on and in my body and that sort of stuff too. So I started making soap, and let me tell you, the first few batches were just terrible. I couldn't quite figure everything out. So I'm like reading a million different things that everybody is saying, and I'm pulling from here and pulling from there and trying to combine things. And that whole thing that they tell you in the beginning, like, oh, the first time you make, you should do no fragrance and you shouldn't put any additives or anything. I'm like, well, whatever. So, I
Who
kind
else
of
is
jumped
guilty of
in.
that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure most of us that enjoy that because we're like, oh yeah, but I really want to figure. I don't want to wait because then this stuff has to cure, and
Hmm.
so I kind of jumped in and I started making it, and I can only use so much soap that actually lasts fairly long. So just like most people, I'm sure I started being like, hey, you should try this out, and giving away to family and friends, and I sort of became the neighborhood dealer here in my village with soap and.
That's
Um,
the soap dealer instead of the dope dealer.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of my friends were, they were like, hey, this is really good. We enjoy this. We like this. It's a cool hobby, and you should sell it. And
I
I
was
was
going to
like,
say,
well,
when did you
Same.
become more than a hobby?
yeah, that was, so my thing was like, I'm not, if I can't say this, then edit it out. But I didn't want to half-ass it. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to, if I was going to do it, my thought was I want to do this correctly. Like I want to do something that looks legitimate up front. I want to do something that has integrity in the product. Like I don't want to make the absolute cheapest thing I can. I want to try to do this in a way that I know that will be sustainable, and something that if I am going to sell it, I'm going to start a business. So before I ever even sold anything, I mean, I filed for my LLC. I did all the background research in that. I had already been thinking about designing. I had been thinking about name. So I live in the village of Kingston in Ohio. And so I live on Oak Street. There's a lot of oak trees here. And so that was imagery that really sort of played for me. And obviously there's local connotations there, but also I was like, oak, strong, like an ox, something that people will identify with. And I really sort of started out, and I still am probably like an 80-20 more targeted towards men, because I felt whenever I would go places, I didn't see anything that was really, really targeted for men on a small scale. You know what I mean? Like, of course,
Right.
there's like the big box brands. There's a handful of them, but now they're owned by like Unilever. And so there's not a lot of stuff out there that I felt was really serving guys who just wanted to give a crap about what they were doing and what they were, like I said, putting on or in their bodies. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I did a lot of background work looking into what I wanted to do. I started to immediately go to processes and thinking about, well, if I do this, what am I want to have a box. I want to have something that looks legitimate. I want to be able to have clever names that sort of play into things, that some of them have double entendres. And so, yeah, and I had said this beforehand. I had made for a while, a few years beforehand. And when I decided to launch, I spent about a good 4 months. And at that point, I felt pretty good with what I was producing as far as a bar of soap. But I wanted to really know my product and know the why behind it. And so even before I sold my first bar, like I was writing SOPs and thinking about processes and those types of things to try to prepare myself for whenever I got to the point. Because, I have a full-time job, right? Like
I
I
was going to
work in,
just say, what is your full time job? Because
yeah. So,
I'm guessing it's something very organized.
well,
No.
yes, it's funny that you say that. So I work in medical education and healthcare, and I have for a number of years. And that's the same thing. I do a lot of like process thinking through policy and accreditation and those sort of things. So that sort of framework fit good for this piece of running a business, as far as thinking about it systematically and that type of thing. Um, but just like everything, as soon as there's been, just in this last year since I've really been doing this, there's been like these plateau points. Like you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, yeah, now I'm comfortable. Now I've got it figured out. And then something changes. And then it's like, okay, now it's time to figure the next thing out.
So, what was the first real scaling move that you made? Like bigger molds, more space,
Yeah,
systems?
both actually. So it's you said it, in space and in molds. Like most people, I was making in my kitchen, right? Like,
Right.
and my wife was starting to get pretty tired of like soap everywhere and like, what is this? Is this my dish or is this your dish? Is this, what is this? And so equipment was a part of it, right? Like I started making sure that I was buying all my own equipment and everything. But then I know that I needed to get out of the house because first it was the kitchen and then it overtook the dining room, and then it overtook like office space, and then
Yep.
yeah. So
We've all been there.
Yep. I'm
yeah,
still there.
so I
me
ended
too.
up yeah, absolutely. And I'm in my garage, and you can kind of see here. I know listeners won't be able to, but we have a 4-car garage, and this is one bay. So it's roughly, 24 feet deep and about 12 feet wide. So, which seemed humongous at the time, right? Like whenever I moved out here, I was like, oh, this is more space than I'll ever need. And then you're like, oh, wait, but I need this. Oh, wait, but I need that. So yeah, the space.
Famous last
and
words.
absolutely. And then the other, like production wise, moving from loaf molds to slab molds was a big thing, because I would see these slab molds, right? Like I've watched everybody's videos, and I would look at that and I would be like, oh, that's awesome. Now, how the heck do you get that thing into a bar? Like I didn't understand at
Right.
first, like how does a slab splitter work into loaves? And so yeah, it was one of those things that it just sort of, I was comfortable there for a while with where I was, literally moved into the space, started scaling up before I realized I was really scaling up, because I was like, I need to make more bars at one time. And the slab molds allowed me to do that. And I've moved from slab molds that didn't fit what my needs correctly, but I didn't know that they didn't fit my needs.
Right.
So it was weird for me because a lot of people will say, well, with this size mold, I can make this size bar out of it. And that's what my bar size is going to be. Well, I was very specific. I knew that I wanted a 3x3 by 1 1/8 inch bar, because for me, it felt good in my hands. It felt sustainable. It felt like it was big enough to be big, but not gargantuan.
Right.
And it felt solid. Like that heft going from a 1 inch, which whenever I had a single loaf cut, like bar cutter, it would cut in 1 inch increments. And I was like, yeah, that's good, but a little bit thicker would be better. And so I set on that, and then I started designing my boxes around that whenever I got to that point. So it's been an interesting ride, really, in just a year. And I felt like I've learned so much, and hats off to the people like yourselves who really spend the time and are willing to talk to people and help them along and provide the education. I mean, what other thing can you do where you can find all the free information that you want? I mean, people share their recipes, people share their processes, people share their equipment. I mean, it's really
It's a good community.
quite a thing.
It
is.
It's most people. Most.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I've
Yeah.
ran into those ones too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
You have a question? Oh, I thought you were going to ask something.
It's pretty funny because Jesse had just said we should do an episode about scaling up, and then here comes your video about
Yeah,
scaling up.
Oh,
then I ran
yeah.
across your video.
Talk about
and I
that
was like,
timing.
I have like no followers, so I can't believe that y'all even saw that. Like I have been like, I'm in that phase now where I'm really trying to scale that part up too, right?
Yeah, well,
And that's been that's been my struggle. And it's not like capturing the content, filming it. Like I'm really good at that. Like I got tripods in here everywhere and I'm always filming everything. But whenever it comes to, it's like, oh, I got to sit and edit this. Like it's such a
That's the struggle
time
that
suck
all
for
of us
me.
have. Yeah.
We all get there.
How long have you been at it?
So I've been making soap for a minute. probably really only the last couple of years, but I didn't launch my business. I just looked because Jesse asked me the same thing the other day, and in about 2 weeks it'll be a year. So
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
fairly new with that piece, but I feel like I was also really intentional about how I wanted to launch things, what I wanted to have in place. I'm sort of a systems and process thinker. I have a like one of those weird backgrounds, like I've sort of done everything, but I work in medical education.
Content is
So,
content.
and
But yeah,
and
we
as
should
far
get
as
this
your
rolling.
content goes, everything that you're doing content wise, you might not have a lot of followers, but I'm looking at your the what you're putting out is good quality stuff. So the followers are just gonna come. And that
Thank
last
you.
video with the soap all dressed on the different vacation places, that was hilarious.
Well, so
I don't know.
here's the
I
funny
got
I
such a
thing.
kick
apparently
out
am
of that.
missing out. I have to go look.
Like
I don't know. I got a kick out of it.
I had been off, like TikTok wasn't even the thing like the last time I was on social media. Like I'm still like wondering like, hey, I wonder if my MySpace is still active. Like I'm that like that's what I feel like. So my daughter is 20 now. And so she's always like, Dad, this is the trend, or you should do this. And I don't like, the only thing I look at is I find makers and other people that I follow, and I purposely look at their stuff, but I don't scroll. Like, so the algorithm doesn't know me, right? Like
Right.
it hasn't figured me out. So it'll just show me like any shit that's out there. So I often get these trendy things, and that has been a thing. Like, there's two of them that I've seen that's like, oh, this is the, like when you first launch the app, like it'll just show you whatever because it thinks you're going to like it and keep scrolling. But
Right.
I always see like, oh, summer outfits I can't wait to wear. And my daughter was like, you need to do something like that, but it'd be funny if you did it with soap and like had it dress up in different outfits. And
Well, that was so
so, yeah.
funny. I
Well,
don't know.
thank you.
And the like, I don't know, just the pictures and the details making the soap. It was just
Well,
very funny.
you and the other 123 people that saw that.
Well, listen, you have 600 and something followers, and I have 170,000 followers, and I'm only getting 200 views. So
Yeah, I know.
there-
That's my frustration. So I listened to another one of your guys' podcasts when you guys were talking about that. And it was really interesting because, man, I feel like those platforms, those social platforms, really, like if you say you're a business or if you say you're a page or whatever, like they're like, we want your money. We're not going to give you any natural views. And I've
Exactly.
noticed that, like if I've ran ads on Meta, like even after I upload my catalog there, like because I've got it set with the pixel and everything on my website, like if I post something naturally, like organically, there's no reach for like the next three or four things that like my own followers won't see it. And I'm
Yep.
like, well,
Right.
they're choosing to follow me. Shouldn't you show it to them? Like,
How did you decide which products could scale and which ones you should stay limited with?
so that's funny. The other thing, whenever I started making soap, the same big box company that makes that soap that I was using also made deodorant. And that was really the first time I had used natural deodorant, aluminum free. So I learned how to make that. Well, the the thing that they don't tell you about that is like it's really difficult to pour. It doesn't pour very well whenever you mix it. So you're mixing arrowroot powder, magnesium hydroxide, for moisture absorption with your oils that you've melted, both and wax, beeswax, to give it some structure. So by the time you mix it all together, it's like this paste that you're trying to like spoon into these deodorant capsules. So that at first I was kind of hell bent on making that because it was something I really wanted. And then at some point I was like, I can't do this right now. Like maybe I'll be able to at some point, but like it was taking time away from what was selling and what was resonating with people, which was soap. And so I
Right.
stepped back from that and honestly very recently just sort of got back into it now that my processes are in such a place where I'm not like scrambling making smaller loaves of soap all the time. And I've sort of found a way through a whole bunch of error and trial. Usually you say the other way around, but this was more error than trial of trying to get the process down to where it was pourable enough but not, not so much that it didn't give a nice structured product in the end.
Right.
So yeah, that was one that I was so convinced that that was it. That was going to be the one. And really, I realized soap was sort of where it was at. And it was so much easier to scale up soap for
Than to
me.
scale up something like that.
Yeah.
So, what systems have changed your life the most? Batching, curing, cutting, packaging, inventory.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Once again, listeners aren't going to be able to see unless they're watching on YouTube or something. But right behind me, so I saw all these videos of people with these giant oil tanks and
Right.
these lye tanks, and man, I would love to be able to afford those. You know what I mean? Like, but
Ooh,
right
they
now I'm not in
high.
a yeah.
Oh.
I'm not in a place to where I could be able to do that. So I was like, that's kind of similar. An oil tank is similar to all it is just a big vessel that has some way to heat it up. So for some reason, beer brewers started showing up like on
That's
my
exactly
feed.
what I did.
Yeah. So I was like, well, that should work. And so I that's what I bought. And it's like I don't know, an 8 or 9 gallon tank, and I've used that for my hard oils as far as master batching up. We actually did about 7 gallons yesterday, that we melted down, mixed everything together. For me, hard oils are lard, beef tallow, shea butter, and coconut oil. And at first, my plan was to batch both my liquid oils and my hard oils together, because I've got I think it's either a 60/40 or a 70/30 split, one way or the other, but I couldn't tell you. I've like tweaked things a little bit. I'd have to look at my SOPs that are hanging on the wall back there. So for me, my liquid oils, I have a 5 gallon jerry can with a spigot on it that I use to mix my liquid oils in, give it a good shake, before you pour them out. That was a really big
That's a
thing for
good
me.
idea. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, well,
That's a great idea.
so I when I was like exploring master batching, same thing, trial and error. Like I didn't understand. I can talk about the lye in a minute, but with the oils, I was like, yeah, I'll just mix it all together and it'll be fine. Until you mix it all together, and then in my shop, like it's a crispy 71 degrees, but up here in Southern Ohio, it's been below freezing for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. So even though I
Yep.
have a propane wall heater out here while I'm in here, like I don't leave it running all the time. So, some of those oils, particularly the butters and the fats, would start to solidify, and then things
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't just mix. And then I'd have to reheat it all to a certain temperature to be able to get it to homogenize again. So I was like, yeah, that ain't working. I can't do that. So that's sort of when I decided to separate those out. And I'm really kind of glad that it happened when it was colder outside, because had it been summertime, I wouldn't have realized that it would have been that
Yeah.
big of a deal. And then I could
Yeah.
have, I could have had mistakes with batches if stuff wasn't
Yep.
mixed properly and stuff was sitting at different levels. It'd be one thing if I had one of those giant tanks that stays at a consistent temperature, but this beer brewer, like you turn it on and then you got to turn it off. So
Yeah. Because yeah, exactly. I have the same thing, but I do mix mine together. I just let them
yeah,
sit for a long time.
yeah,
Well, you
no,
run a
I
heater band around yours, though, don't you? Like
Yeah,
I do.
I. Yeah, I don't have an internal heater in. It's just a kettle, and
yes,
I
yeah.
I use a drum heater band.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I just got my first. This one's for a 5 gallon bucket instead of a 50 gallon drum, but I just got one delivered day before yesterday, I think, and I used it to melt the bucket of coconut oil that was like hard as a rock.
Yeah,
so
I'd be afraid to melt the plastic.
So I
That's what they're
thought the
made
same
for.
thing. So I was like, I'll watch it very carefully because it's got a little thermostat on it.
Right.
And then, of course, like I'm Googling what's the melting temperature of HDP plastic. And, but yeah, it was within limits. I would never like put it on there to set it and forget it. But my thing was like, I got to melt this now because I've got everything else in there and I got to get it in there. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked really well. But it's funny how you figure stuff out like that. And I never would have
Trial and
thought about
error.
the drum thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, where was Jesse a month and a half ago? Like whenever I needed to do that, because I was like,
Yeah.
that's absolutely genius. The way that you have yours set up. That is so cool.
It's redneck engineering at its finest, bud.
It is. Man, I
Yeah.
thought I was doing it with a beer brewer, but you're at a whole other level.
Oh yeah, she's
Oh, not just that. Her pot tipper.
I'm super jealous of that pot tipper.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't weld, but I have a lot of friends that do. And I got onto your Facebook, Jesse, like stopped your videos and was like screenshotting and sending pictures of those to my buddies like, hey, how much do you think it'll cost me to make one of these? Or what can I do to barter for that?
I cannot tell you how many comments I've had on that Instagram reel. Probably
Yeah.
the same one that you looked at.
Yep.
Just commenter after commenter saying,
I saw that.
Where do I
Where'd
get,
you get this?
where'd you get this? And I'm like, it's homemade. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like,
You know,
necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like
It
you
is.
try to make do with what you can, and that's sort of where I was with the beer brewer, because I'm like, okay, now I'm making these large slabs. I can't weigh all this stuff out every time I'm making something. Like, it's way too much. It's very time consuming, and it's not worth the time. So,
yeah.
I feel like that's something else that I'll say is very common with this community is people's will to like figure shit out.
Yeah.
It's
That's
it's really
right.
quite amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think that happens in other industries? It probably does, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think so.
yeah.
It's funny though, like coming, and Shauna, you're in medicine, aren't you?
Yep.
That's what I thought. So yeah, that's one of those things where like sometimes you do have to figure it out, but like you pretty well know like what the what you should be doing and what you ought not be doing. Like if you got to give a certain dosage
Yeah.
to somebody, it's like, I'll just go outside of the dosage range. Like,
You got to be very careful with that.
yeah. So I mean,
Every time they're like, this isn't FDA approved for this. We're going to give it. And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah, that's been very very encouraging for me with folks, is to be able to see that and to learn from other people.
I think other industries do it. I think it's just we're so transparent about it.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
it. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because we're so transparent about it, and other people just keep to themselves and gatekeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, gatekeeping, that is a thing.
Oh man.
It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. So, what does a normal production week look like now versus when you first started?
Yeah. So, when I first started, I felt like it was throw everything in the wall and see what sticks, right? Like, so I would be, well, I'll make this and these couple of loaves of soap, and if they sell, then I have to scramble around to try to make them to say, hey, these got to cure for at least 4 weeks before they're ready to sell. So now I have a product shelf over here on this side of the shop that's completely full. And I guess for me, and obviously, the holiday season is like the most wonderful and the most busiest time of year. But I had started that process of scaling up really sort of in the fall incrementally, but I was blown away by how little stock I had, quicker than what I thought I was going to. So, in the beginning, it was scramble, scramble, scramble. It was more reactive, if that makes sense, than it was.
Yes. Proactive.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And now
Yep.
I think through that. I keep a running inventory. I know most of you guys, or at least a few of you, I think you guys use Shopify for your platform, don't you?
Jesse.
Yeah, I do.
One does.
Jesse does. Okay. I'm using Square, and for all of its faults and all of its great things, there's a lot of great tools in there. And one thing that they had updated that was really good for someone like us is their inventory. And so as long as you update your stock in there, it will tell you exactly what you have. You can set alerts and all of that stuff to say if something gets below this, then this is my threshold.
Yeah.
And that's been really helpful. So I am much more watchful with that than what I was sort of in the beginning. It would be like, well, what do you got for sale? Well, I don't know, whatever's in there on the shelf, sort of thing.
So are you everything in the business right now? Is it just you?
So something really cool, yes, for the most part. But last year, I was able to get connected with the United States, with SOCOM, with the Wounded Warrior Care Project. And so I got approved through them, which is quite a process, to host an intern. And so the care project, what it does is for folks who are transitioning out of the military into civilian life, it helps sets them up with some type of business or some type of organization that can help teach them a myriad of skills and help with that transition as they're coming out of, active duty military life for 20 plus years into the civilian world. And so I was very fortunate to partner with them, and I got a great intern for about 6 months last year, which the timing couldn't have been more perfect because that's when things were sort of ramping up for me. And so now I'm very excited to have Jason on. So he's still working with us, and that was part of the scale for me. That was part of the impetus for the scale up too. Is like, I want to be able to pay somebody and make a difference in that way, rather than just because you know how it is, like, especially in your first year of business, it's not like you're making money, right? Like you're not, or at least you're
No.
not taking money.
Right.
So, because everything you make
You're
goes
thrown right
right
back
back
into
into
the
the
business.
business. So for me, that's been a huge help. It's been great to be able to work with him with doing batching and stuff like that. So I'm fortunate there, but it's not like I have a full-time 40-hour a week employee who's, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this week you're going to do this, this, and this.
Right.
And
Do you
so,
keep a
yeah,
schedule of what you're doing on each day, or it all
yeah,
depends on?
kind of. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of where I'm at. So like production wise, I'll take a look at what I have in stock. I'll look at reports, seeing what's been best selling. I've had to make the tough decision. Like a lot of people, like, man, I love this one, but it just ain't it. So it's got to go.
Right.
Maybe a seasonal or a
Yep.
specialty, but it's not, and it stinks because it's always like your favorite one. You know what I mean? Like, and I want it. It doesn't matter how bad you want for it. If other people don't respond that way, it is what it is. So, yeah, now I have a pretty good schedule of when we're making. So like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, my days are starting to run together. We batched up the oils because we've got three of our different scents that we're going to make this coming week. And so I wanted to get that up. And whenever I master batch like that, right now my slab that I'm using is a 15 by 15 by 3 inch tall. And so you get roughly about, what is that, like 25, 26 pounds if you do the math. So I get about 65 bars out of it. And so for me, I'm making one of those at a time per scent for some, and then two for some of my more popular ones. And so we have a couple of they're still our core bars. There are year-round scents, but they're a little bit lower on the bestseller list. And so we're going to be making a few of those.
So, what is something that no one warned you about when it comes to growth?
I'm going to have to say bookkeeping, financials, and taxes.
Okay.
It
Ding, ding,
is,
Yeah.
ding.
it is horrifyingly outside of my wheelhouse in some ways. Like I've always done our own personal taxes, but that's pretty cut and dry, right? Like it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like personal taxes, like, yeah, it is what it is. You made this much money, you owe this much money, you paid in this much, they're going to give you a little bit of it back. It's not that way. So I
No.
I just listened to your guys' podcast on taxes on my way back from my day job the other day, and I was like, yeah, you talked me into it. I'm hiring an accountant. So I've been going through everything myself. And next Friday, I have an appointment with a highly recommended accountant who is going to help me clean up this thing that I've done and hopefully help it work much smoother in the future.
Right, right.
Yeah.
As you scale up even further, it'll just put you in the right place.
That's the hope.
Has anything almost burnt you out?
Um, not yet. I mean, I guess if nothing has burned me out yet with this. I guess like the next step down would be like, okay, well, what's the biggest time and energy suck for me? And right now, we alluded to it, I think before we started, but it's the editing of content, man. And I feel like it's because I hate to be like I'm not a completely in your face like, hey, I feel like it's almost selfish of me to be the one in front of the camera. I don't know if that's like imposter syndrome or
That is
something.
100% imposter syndrome.
100%.
Yep.
So
Get over
it's
that.
yeah,
We have an
it's-
episode on
we-
that
we
too,
did
by the
it.
way.
One of our
man,
first
I haven't listened to
episodes
that
is
one
on that.
I know what I'm
Probably
doing
one of
there.
our most responded to episodes
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's tough, and that's the drain to me. One is because like I mentioned this beforehand too, like I've not been on social media personally since like I don't know 2010 or something like that. So it's
How
been a
long
minute.
has your pages, like your TikTok page and all that, how long have you been going at that for?
A year, if that, like
Okay.
less TikTok, maybe 6 months. And then Facebook was the first thing I started, and that's been right about a year. And that's the thing too, it's one thing I will say, particularly if people are listening and they're having some of these same feelings of like, man, I feel like I'm throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and it's feeling like it's not moving. Man, consistency is key. Because what would happen with
Yep.
me is I would post something and be like, oh man, I feel awesome about this. I'm putting it out there for the world to see, and like 6 people look at it or whatever.
Right.
And it's like I can't take that personally. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's Facebook's algorithm. It's Meta's algorithm or whatever.
Yeah, at this point I'm actually thinking more of my videos as like an archive of
Wow.
how I'm progressing. Like I'm
Yeah.
not
That's a
even
really
thinking
profound
about
way to think about it, you know?
like
I mean
well, I mean when you
seriously.
think about it, if you scroll all the way back to your first video, how trashy was it? I mean, like I look back,
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
was
oh
bad.
my
Oh,
goodness,
yeah.
right? All the
Oh,
different
yeah.
things, and then it's a way
Yeah.
to watch yourself grow over the years, even if nobody else is.
That's a
And
really good way to
it's saved
thank you for
somewhere.
making me feel better about myself. Because that is exactly what you just did. Yeah, that's been the tough part for me because I don't feel at home at the being out there part, like filming the content and stuff. It doesn't bug me at all. The editing part, I there's pieces of it I enjoy, particularly if it's something that like I was so excited about the master batching videos that I had
Right,
done, like because I was pumped up about that because I'm like, oh
right.
my gosh, I'm
But
I'm
that's
learning about this and I'm doing it,
I
and
think that's what hit our For You page. So like it's
yeah.
you're the maybe the energy that you're putting out there is getting picked
Well,
up.
and it's and I that's something too I feel like is very important for people to hear because I think sometimes it is discouraging. Like I did, and I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth, but the community is great in that it's like once you're in there, you're kind of in there because those folks who are like-minded and aren't like the sort of purists to the point to where they want to be exclusive to others. I'm trying like really delicately to choose my
No,
words
we
here,
get it.
but it's like that those are the loudest voices that you hear, particularly in the beginning, because you don't have anybody else, right? Like you
Right.
don't know
Right.
you don't know the ones that you need to surround yourself with. And that was tough for me because I
Okay.
felt like when I was starting, like, why would you do soap? Soap is oversaturated. You know what I mean? Like those types of voices, or like
Uh-huh.
you're using fragrance oil. Do you know what that does to your skin?
Oh
You're
my
doing
gosh.
this. Do you know how they mine? It's like, oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
I can't be the savior of everything. You know what I
I
mean?
think
Like,
when I first was coming up there, I didn't see a lot of that. I think that
yeah.
I'm seeing more of that now.
Yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me that people who are just getting into it, that's what they're seeing now too.
Yeah.
That they
Well,
really need to see more people who are community,
oh yeah,
helpful
for
and
sure.
What
And
your thing might not be my thing, but hey, go
I
for
and
it.
I respect it.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, and that's a really good thing I think for people to hear, particularly as if they're starting out, or even if they've been at like a certain level for a while and they're thinking about making that next step, whether it's to go from, like, hey, I've been making loaf molds one at a time for this long, and I'm worried about what would it look like to pour into a slab mold, or what would it look like to master batch my lye. That seems so scary. And it does seem very scary if you've never done it, but so does riding a bicycle until you know how to do it.
That's true.
And I feel like having that sort of warmth of community around has really been a bright spot.
So what would you tell someone who's scared to let their business get any bigger?
Well, so first off, I think the first thing I would do is ask a question of what do you want out of this? What do you want it to be? Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with somebody choosing to do this as a hobby. I believe that.
100%.
Somebody, you be content, you do you. Like, work for whatever works for you. But if you want to scale up, you know, don't be afraid. Just go for it. I mean, surround
That's
yourself
right.
with the voices of the people who are going to be there for you. Take your time to figure out what works for you, because what works, putting something in a beer brewer may not work for somebody else, but coming up with an oil drum or doing it in a kettle, or however it works for you, don't be afraid to take some other idea and make it your own, because whatever you
Right.
want to get out of it, you can get out of it.
What are your plans? What are your next, what's your next main goal? Do you have like a list of, I want to be here and then there and then here and then there? Like, what's your,
Yeah, I do. How did you know that?
because that's what
We
I think.
we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah. So, like, the last real big one for me, and I knew it wouldn't be a big source of income just because the margins, but was to break into wholesale, into what I saw, not to delegitimize anything, but legitimate businesses, where I thought that my product that I'm very proud of would get the sort of traffic and attention that I can't just do it alone by putting out there. So that was the thing that was big for me, was getting into a handful of places that I felt really good about. And now it's like that next tier is to really ramp up my retail sales. So I've been spending a lot of time, and I don't know anything about this stuff, by the way. I'm not, and none of it. I mean, I doubt any of us are like, oh yeah, I majored in SEO in college for internet design. Like, we're all
I don't
figuring
even know
out.
if that was a thing when I was like, was that
Exactly.
even a thing when I was in college?
I looked it up 5 minutes ago, so I didn't know anything. But I'm an expert now, so it's fine. You can trust me.
Margaret's making
Margaret's
fun of
showing
her
her age.
No, it was. I had a computer in high school. AOL.
Yeah, dial up. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's that's the part for me, is I'm really trying to concentrate now. Like, I am obsessive about trying to clean up my website and make it is, because, like, for me, my competition isn't other makers. You guys aren't my competition. No other person that is making this stuff in their house or in a small business is my competition. My competition is Unilever. My competition is L'Oreal. My competition are all those huge conglomerates that are eating up
Yes.
the masses. It's no, there's
Yeah,
enough room for all. There's enough room at the table for all of us to eat here.
right.
There really is. I mean, soap is a repeatable product. It is a consumable product, and everybody uses it in one
You
form
hope.
or another.
Well, yeah, well, we
That's
hope they
right.
do.
Yeah, and if they don't,
Some folks. I have threatened to throw but soap at folks at Walmart.
Listen, I can vouch that there are some people out there who need to up their
Yeah.
usage.
I've thought that myself a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that next thing for me, I mean, all, like, I would like to have a plan. I realize that our plans don't always go according to our plan, and I'm okay with that to a certain extent. But, like, I don't want to work my day job. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in my 40s. Like, I'm sitting here. I'm not just looking at it as, oh, this would be nice to do in retirement. Like, I want to get there pretty damn quickly. And I don't know what exact, I mean, I have an
BDC.
idea of what it will take me to get to that point, like financially. But man, it takes a heck of a lot of $7, $8 bars of soap to get there.
Yeah.
And so for
Yep.
me,
It
it's
does.
really trying to push that retail to a point to where I can feel good about it for myself and where I can feel like I can give it the time that it deserves instead of it being second fiddle to me, because I'm much more passionate about. I don't want, like, I hope no one from work is going to listen and be like, oh my gosh, you're not passionate about your work. I am very much so, but for me this is it. Like, I love it, and
Yeah.
I want it to be the thing that continues to drive what I do.
Yeah, I get it. I'm a teacher
Yep.
during the day, and
Yeah.
am I passionate about teaching? When I walk into those rooms and kids are running up to me, Mrs. Corner, and
Absolutely.
hugging me and all that, I'm loving every minute of it. And I'm not counting down the 85 more wake ups that I have.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So, I mean, I'm passionate about what I do, but
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah,
She'll text us like,
it's
so and so more days.
yeah. No, I hear you. And that's the thing too. I think a lot of it for me is the idea of like, man, it's fun to have that creative outlet where you feel like you are in control of your destiny, and not
Yep.
because some state standard tells you you have to be, or some accrediting body tells you you have to be.
yeah. All right, so
Oh, I
I
know that well.
have a. Do you guys have any questions?
No, you've been very good at asking more questions.
Yeah.
We're just here for a little bit of
We're just
spice.
here for moral support. You know.
For moral support.
I have a question of the day. So the question of the day is one that will go for all of us and also for the listeners. So pay attention to this question of the day, and if you would like to answer, drop it in the comments, okay? What is the one thing that you are afraid to scale in your business, and why? Like, is it production? Is it pricing? Is it letting go of control? Is it hiring help?
That is a good one.
Afraid to scale.
Well, I mean, a lot of the things that I did not like, as far as my products, a lot of the products that I did not see scaling well, I've already gotten rid of. Now, there's one other, now with one caveat, and Joe knows what I'm talking about, and y'all do too. It's dang tallow soap. I'm so ready to be done with that.
Yeah.
It is giving me fits. I have come to the realization that goat milk and tallow based soap, they don't
play
mesh.
well.
Really?
They don't play well.
It's
No.
funny because I feel like it almost feels like you just started that, but it's been
I
going for a few
did
months.
just a few months. It's like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
You know,
it doesn't feel like that long.
It's just, well, the thing about it is you know, like Joe, you know, you fool with tallow. It takes a pretty good bit of heat to melt it. And
Yeah.
and mine is a mixture of tallow, coconut oil, and castor oil. And which the coconut oil, it doesn't take much to melt it, but with that tallow and then mixing the goat milk with it, you don't want to have it so hot that you
Right.
scorch the goat milk. You've got to be right there, and it's just not. It's not. I'm sure somebody could figure out how to scale it and do a really good job. It's just not me.
Yeah.
It's just not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about either of you? What are
I
you
worry
afraid
about.
to?
I'm worried about hiring on other people,
What? How?
and
why?
then, well, just number one, like you eventually need to, right? But number one, are they going to do what you need done properly the way you would do it? And number two, is your business going to be able to support having an employee? So that those are those give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is legit anxiety. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, because I've got my son working with me, and yeah, I have to watch his hours sometimes because if it gets too high, it's a balancing act.
Yeah. The
How
law
about
of
you?
diminishing return.
Exactly.
For me, you said it whenever you were going through sort of the preliminary list there, and it's pricing. That has caused me so much anxiety, and I knew when I launched that I was sort of underpriced, but my thought was I want it to be more accessible to people right now, and I want to get it out there as much as what I can. And so I have been fretting over a bit of a price, and I'm selling a 5.5 ounce bar for $7 right now, and that's in a custom printed box that is with beef tallow, shea butter, olive oil, the additives, fragrance. I mean, that's the big killer right there as far as dollars and cents. And I knew that I wasn't at the margin that I needed to be, so I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off. And what has made the change for me, and I just kind of announced it, sort of I wanted to acknowledge it, but I didn't want to dwell on it nor apologize for it. But I am trying to bring somebody on, and somebody that I feel is very worthy to bring on into the business. And I'm wanting to continue to partner, and I am. I mean, I'm approved for the next 3 years with SOCOM with the Wounded Care Project, but I want to be able to pay someone, and it's tough to do that if you're underselling. And at the end of the day, is anybody going to squabble over $7 to $8? Maybe a few, but probably not. And if they are, then they're probably not a long-term customer anyways.
Right.
Exactly.
If they're gonna squall, it's not much of a change. So,
But it
I can tell you,
seems so huge to me. You know what I mean?
does.
Like
It feels like that.
Oh my gosh!
And I can tell you,
I felt guilty.
yeah, you
We
feel
did
guilty.
that.
You feel like you're letting people down.
Yeah.
Right, we did that. We went up $1 on everything, and but my husband helps in the background, and he sent an email, said, like, listen, we're raising the prices at this point in time. We're giving them time so they can buy stuff that they want to beforehand.
Did the same thing.
But this is why we're doing it. And it was like, we're going to have boxes. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And like it listed out the reasons.
Right, you're
why
not
we're
just
doing it.
raising the price to raise the price. You're raising the price to keep a good quality
keep your
product.
profit margins.
Yes.
Keep your profit margins where they need to be.
And to improve
Yeah.
things, like scale up, do better things. So.
Right.
Well, and I've been in business now officially for just about a year, and the escalation of the prices of our oils, fats, my gosh. I mean, it's what I used to
going
be able
crazy.
to buy a 50 pounds of was $86, and now it's $137. I mean, like that's real.
Oh, you should have seen the jump in cocoa butter. Holy cow.
Well, I tell you what,
That shot up
I
like
was
crazy.
this close to I almost landed on cocoa butter instead of shea butter. And then one of those big jumps happened, and I was like, no, I can't.
Well,
Yeah.
the hike in olive oil here a while back. I used to use olive oil in my soaps, but what was
Yeah.
it, 4 years ago when olive oil just went?
So
Right then, I subbed out for sunflower oil.
yeah, and it just recently. So in August, Sam's Club was the cheapest place I could buy olive oil from. The big 3 liter jugs, $13.22 for 3 liters, 128 fluid ounces. That exact same one now, $22.98 in 3 or 4 months. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
The one,
and
the
they're
one
not.
I use,
It's not going down, right? Like once
Right.
it goes up, it's Pandora's box. They're not like, oh
Yeah. Right.
well, we're sorry.
when I made the switch, the olive oil I was buying was in like this big container at BJ's is what we have, not Sam's Club, and literally now it's like different size container. It's smaller. So like when I started
Yep.
doing the math, I was like, you're paying more, but you're getting less. It's like, but,
Yes.
but they changed the
Yeah.
whole packaging, so it looks like, oh, you're getting 2 bottles
Yeah.
instead of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the price of coconut oil this past year,
Same thing.
son.
$8.98 for the 56 ounces at Sam's Club. That was like the cheapest place that I could buy it without buying a pallet. Eight something. Okay, now that same one is $12.98. So, and that doesn't seem
Sam's
like
Club
it's not
now-
that much.
Now at Sam's Club, I know I don't think you can go to my local Sam's Club, you can't go and pick it up, but you can order it online. It comes in a 1-gallon bucket.
Yes, I just saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
and
I think
it's
it's
good
a
stuff.
cent cheaper than the what the other stuff is now.
But my thing about it is, whoever tightens the lids on them jars,
Oh my gosh.
they are mad at people.
Yes, I have
To
them
get
right
an
down
oil
here. You
filter
can't
wrench
them
to
off.
get it off. I have to,
I-
the oil filter wrench with
That's
with
exactly
with
what I use.
rubber
Are you
strap.
kidding me?
Oh my gosh!
That's the exact same thing
Yeah.
I had to use to get those off there was an oil filter wrench. That is so funny.
funny.
You two are like peas in a pod. I swear.
He's just a Yankee redneck, and I'm a Southern redneck.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think we're just all rednecks at heart.
We have a lot of
That's
rednecks where I
right.
live too, so it's all right.
But yeah, it's the thing for me was the buckets. I'm like, the lids
Yeah.
come off easy. I don't have to sit there and cuss and swear, and which I not really.
I
anyhow,
remember
but,
you struggling with those things.
Woo,
Yeah.
son.
Like you
Yeah,
were
that
like
struggle
throwing
was real.
stuff.
Yeah.
She was,
was so
throwing
mad.
things. She was like, ah.
Yeah,
But I
that's
get mad. I throw stuff, Joe.
oh.
You wouldn't believe it. She's small but scary.
So for me, my fear of scaling is more of like I don't know which direction to go in. And I also am terribly afraid of letting go of control, right? So
Yeah.
do we go the Amazon route? Do we go for wholesaling? Do we ramp up the retail side? And then once I do, just like the rest of us, we're just figuring it out as it goes along.
Yeah.
So like what legally am I required to do? What financially, like what is my best bet financially? It's just, there's a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of fear. So if you are listening, drop your answer in the comments, send us a DM, share it in your stories, tag us. We want to hear why you are stuck and what you're dreaming about. Let us know your answer to the
Leave
question
it
of the
there.
day. Leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there. 'Cause that just adds to the fun of it. It looks unorganized for once.
We are not perfect.
Please.
No, not at all.
I've been keeping notes because you guys decided, not you guys decided. We kind of came up with that, except when we're having an interview, we're going to kind of be more authentic and not so strict to a topic for the entire episode. Although, listening to you today and saying, I watched this episode about this and this episode about that, it's a little bit easier to research and
Yeah.
look for stuff if we kind of stick to a topic. So, now,
We're not inelastic. We can
yes, this is true.
we can
Very-
change as we go.
very elastic. So I've been keeping notes as to like, oh, this happened. I'm going to talk about this in the next one. I'm like,
Imagine that, the nerds keeping notes.
This nerd's not. She talks about being afraid to give up control. We talked about, I said at one point, it's like, maybe, if this podcast grows enough, we can get someone to like edit the episodes for us. And Margaret's like,
Yeah.
I hate editing. I can't stand it. But I have a schedule now.
Yeah.
So we film it. A new episode drops on Thursday. By Friday, I want to have all the short clips ready for the next week. So I know I'm editing all day Thursday just to pull the clips, put them up, give them to these two heifers so they can load them. And then I have, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to edit the whole episode, and then scheduled to drop on Thursday just to start it all over again. And then I go, wait a minute, I haven't put out a Warm and Fuzzy Soapery video in 2 months.
Oh man, I ain't filmed nothing for today. Oh my gosh.
I've got stuff filmed and ready. I'm editing it, but I got to do the voiceovers because I have voiceover in my bed. So.
Yeah.
And I'm living
Yeah.
in chaos, so I can't even film anything.
That's all right. Film the chaos.
Yeah.
So-
I have
The adventures
It's-
in moving.
Yeah, so I shouldn't be living in chaos, but I'll notice like whenever I'm getting ready to film, I'll set my tripod up and I'll be like, oh, I gotta move this out of the background so I can, so people
Listen,
don't
they
get
talk
the
about that
wrong
all the time.
impression.
All the people like all these social media influencers, they're clearing out the space, and they say all the time, they're like, if you saw what was on the other side of the camera,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think my life was so organized. But
Oh yeah, 100%.
that's why you don't see like most of my videos of soap making. They're in the kitchen, and my kitchen, like in the background, there's so much junk on the counter that like I don't have a place to put it right now. So like it's angled down at the thing, so you don't see me in the soap making videos because it's all
Oh,
angled
yeah.
down at what I'm working on instead
Yeah.
of what's
Yeah.
behind.
Very
Well,
purposeful cinematography.
Exactly.
that too, and she's so tall that she has a hard time getting tripods that are
Yeah.
that'll work for
I had
her.
to put them up on the counter to get me and the soap in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting in the bar at the basement right now. I think this is going to be my spot until the new place.
There you go. That works.
Hey, I
What'd
think
you
it
do?
looks good. It gives your little screen dimension.
It
Yeah.
does. It's a warm and an
Yeah.
inviting aesthetic.
It's warm and fuzzy. Is the
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
There you go.
See what you did there.
What?
So did we forget anything? Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
I'm sure we'll remember something as soon as we sign off. Mm-hmm. That's how it goes.
Probably.
Well, I cannot thank you guys enough for having me on. I just really appreciate the opportunity to get to sit in the same space with you guys and talk with you and learn from you. And like now I want to do this at least once a week now, even if it's not recorded, just so I can like pick your guys' brains and get some good
You know what?
ideas.
We should probably do a segment like that. Like, hey, if you're a listener who wants to come on and just pick our brains for an hour.
Oh man.
Well, we
that
do.
would be
We
so
have
helpful.
farm fresh feedback, but we
No, but I mean, like, farm fresh feedback is, hey, people will write in and be like, can you check out my social media or whatever? But like, hey, would you like to be a guest just to hang out and talk for a little?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's lots of people who would.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's no shortage,
And
I'm
hey,
sure.
as things change, if you think like, hey, I got more to say, I want to come back on, just let us know.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
come
right.
on and I'll come on anytime. I really appreciate it. It's been a
We do
it's
need-
good experience.
We do need the additional Y chromosome every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's kind of hard to find in our field, so you know.
Yeah.
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 That is something I will say too. Like it's so funny because a lot of the soap groups that I'm on, like in Facebook, I'm sure you guys are part of the same ones. It'll be like, all right, gals, what are we doing? And so like the running joke with my neighbors, that my guy friends and I was like, yeah, I'm just out here being a pioneer woman, doing my thing. So
That's being marked.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's your next video right there. Is like a pilgrim outfit, the woman outfit.
Hey.
Hair up in her.
And that's it for the Dirty Heifers podcast. Joe, thanks so much for hanging out with us and being real about the highs and the growing pains of scaling a business. If you love this episode, make sure you like it, share it, and send it to a maker friend who's trying to grow without losing their mind. And if you've got a story, a struggle, or a topic you think we should tackle on the show, slide into our inbox at dirtyheifers@gmail.com. We'll be back next week with more soap, more business, and probably more chaos. Until then, stay dirty, heifers.
It's an intro.
And next, the... And next,
Oh no! She can't even keep a straight face right now. This is bad.
today's episode is a big one because we're talking about something every maker dreams about and also kinds of fears. Scaling up your business. Going from kitchen batches to real production. From, I hope someone buys this, to, oh no, everyone's buying this. What changes? What breaks? What do you wish you knew sooner? And to help us unpack all of that, we're joined by a guest who's actually done it. Joe from Kingston Oak Soap Company is here with us today. Joe's taken his brand from small batch beginnings to a more structured, scaled operation without losing the heart of handmade. Joe, welcome to the Dirty Heifers. We are.
Thank you guys so
glad you're here.
much. I'm very happy to be here.
We
Thank
got
you
a-
guys.
We got a bull in the midst of us, ladies.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, right.
There's a bull in the barn.
Joe has informed us that he has listened to the podcast for a little while, so he should know that the very first thing we do before we dive in, we've got to warm up Jesse's brain with our word of the week.
We ain't cold starting that joker at all, son.
Today's word is...
All right, here we go. It's INELASTICITY.
Well, that one's pretty easy.
Okay.
You took it easy on me this week. That's inelastic. Shoot.
easy.
Inelasticity.
Okay.
There you go.
I just want to
right,
let
so
you.
you-
I was saying that along exactly the same way that you did as you were saying it. By the way. So,
And I'm going to say it is not flexible.
Okay. Yeah, it's not flexible at all. Lack of change. But when you're talking about it, in like a business sense, and it's not, it's more like where I was going with it is how some things just don't change at all. Like, and your attitudes towards them don't change. In other words, like, let's take gas prices, for example. They are inelastic because how much a gallon of gas is, it's really not going to change much about your driving pattern. So maybe you spend maybe you get like 20 gallons of gas a week because that's what you need to go back and forth to work, right? And it's really not going to change if gas goes from $3 a gallon to $5 a gallon. You still have to buy that same amount of gas, right? Or like life-saving medicine. If you need a medication to live, whether it's $10 or $100, you're going to buy it, right?
toilet paper.
Or what? Say that again.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Well, I mean, you could, like without major changes, right? And same thing, like something like cigarettes or drugs or alcohol. Like no matter how much the cigarettes are, I remember my parents were buying like packs of cigarettes for 50 cents a pack. Going, if this goes up to $1, I'm quitting. And my dad is still smoking. And how much is our cigarettes now? Like 20 something a pack? I don't even know. Something like that, right? So, Jesse, do you have a redneck word of the week? Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even use a sentence with Shauna.
You didn't even give Shauna a chance to screw up.
I did not. When Shauna refuses to budge on her production schedule, no matter how wild demand gets, her inelasticity is both impressive and slightly terrifying. As you might have guessed, I believe that cornball is my role.
Yeah. Corn. It's corn. It's Margaret.
That's right.
I like corn.
Corn.
All right, so let's get that redneck word of the week.
So this week's redneck word of the week is not like a redneck word. This is a entity within the state of Mississippi. Okay, it's not a city. It's not a county. I'm just going to let y'all try to figure it out. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. All right, it's spelled B-O-G-U-E. Next word is C-H-I-T-T-O.
I'm pulling a Jesse here, and I'm gonna say it's a bag of Cheetos.
Ooh.
No?
I look at it and I see bullshito.
Bullshito.
I mean,
You're on the Bullshito after eating a bag of Cheeto. No?
we call those
That's
they
what you're
call
going to be
the,
doing after you eat a bag of Cheetos.
those strip mall martial arts guys who make all these stupid claims. We call that bullshito. So that's why
Okay.
Those are good guesses. Joe, you got one?
Joe, you got a guess?
You know what?
You got to join
I
in the
can't
fun.
get much better than the last two.
Hold on a second. We should probably save this for the actual podcast.
I was just gonna say, maybe
let's
we're
stop and let's
Yeah.
let's get
Yeah,
this
sure.
rolling.
And
We haven't
let's
actually
see.
launched this.
Feel
Right.
free to
Let's-
redirect me, because if I start to go off on a tangent, be like, yeah, cool. Maybe be quiet for a minute, or
Oh
you
no,
said enough about that.
we'll
No,
rail you
no.
in but we'll let you just keep going if it's good content. What's good content? You know, like, we want to hear why you are stuck and what you're dreaming about. I'll edit that out. And let us know your answer to the
Leave
question
it
of the
there.
day.